using Autodesk Inventor to create a laminated project. So in this tutorial we're going to take this basic three pieces laminated together and put some geometry on it, so an ellipse actually with a hole in it. So to start off with, I'm going to pick this part and I'm going to expand it here. Okay, and I'm going to come down to origin, and if I actually pick the part, now you can see it, and I'm going to right mouse click and I'm going to turn on the ZY and I'm going to turn on the XY planes. Okay, what that does is gives us a center point in here if you've done things correctly. Right? So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a sketch. I'm going to go to sketch now and start a 2D sketch, and we're going to do it not on the plane but on the piece of wood. Okay, it's going to turn like this. I can rotate it back the other way, no big deal. Now if I start a box, you're going to notice there's no center point here, so we've got to add a center point. So that's just project geometry, and in this case we're going to hit project geometry, and when I come down here you can see center point puts one right in the center. I'm going to add that. Okay, and you can see it's locked in place, and I'm also going to add some project geometry for the outside edges here. What that's going to let us do is dimension things off these edges later on as well. Okay, so there's my project geometry added. Now I can go to a rectangle, and you can see now if I zoom in a bit you can see the green, so that's my center point, and it will just automatically snap out, and you can see the green again up in the corner. Okay, so snap, that snaps right to the spot. For the ellipse I click on rectangle, down to the ellipse tool, and again I can come here, and don't worry about this because we're going to dimension it, so we just click like that, go to dimension, and now I'm going to dimension this way, and if I go to 4.5 that takes me the whole distance of the project. Okay, but the problem is if I use a CNC router I need to leave some extra meat on the outside edges, so I'm going to change that to 4. Okay, and what that does is leaves a ½ inch there and a ½ inch there. Right, so 4 and 4 is 8, plus a ½ and a ½ is 9 inches, which is the total distance across. So a 1/4 inch for the router bit and another 1/4 inch for a little excess of material left over. So next is we'll dimension this way, and I'm going to put this one to 5.5. And once again, when you do this, 5 and a half and 5 and a half is 11. This piece of wood's 12, so a ½ inch there and a ½ inch there. That's just so the router bit doesn't hit the table and mess things up. So we're almost done here. I'm just going to put a circle in, and you can see I can find the center point here, and I'll just click it somewhere, dimension it, and I'm going to say that's a 1 inch circle, and it's on the line. So how far is it? I don't know, from here. I probably can't dimension to right here. Let's see, can I? No, it's going to go from the center. So I'm just going to go from here and say it's 4.5. Okay, I don't want it too close to the edge because if I router the edges, I'm actually going to make it a little bit less, so 4.25. So 4.25. Okay, so there we go. That's it there, and I'm going to finish this off. Okay, so now all I do is I go back to 3D model, and I click extrude, and I can extrude this part, and I can extrude that part. And it might be hard to see right now, but basically, and how thick is the material? 0.75. Okay, and I'm going to click OK, and there we go. There is my shape. Okay, now I don't need these planes anymore, so I can just come over here, right mouse click, turn them off. Okay, so that they're gone. Okay, and now all I got to do is router kind of the inside edges of this. So I'm just going to go, or round them. So I'm going to go to fillet. I'm going to set this to 0.25, so a 1/4 inch fillet. And then I'm just going to go to, oops, hang on a second, 0.25, and for some reason it doesn't want to go, so let's just cancel out of this for a second and go fill it once more, and there we go. Okay, so select my edges and all the way around here, and that one there we go, and I'm only going to do it to one side, so apply and cancel, and then there would be my project. So I'm going to stop at that. That is basically how you draw in Inventor to create a project. Okay, and we'll continue into the next tutorial.